Hello everyone, welcome along The Rambling Rider. You join me here on a very, very cold January morning. It is absolutely bitterly cold, absolutely freezing. And this is my very first YouTube video. So I feel slightly awkward standing here talking to you through a lens. But we're going to go through what I thought would be a good idea for my first video on my channel. As a new rider, I've been riding 5 months, is the costs that you're likely to spend if you're thinking of getting into the world of motorcycling, which if you are, you should absolutely do it. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. I can't recommend it enough. So they're going to go through the costs of what you might have to spend if you want to get on two wheels from zero experience right through to your full license out on the road on a bike. But for now, it's so cold. Let's go home, get a coffee on, and go through some costs. I'll see you back home. Right, welcome back. I've warmed up a little bit, got a coffee. That's how much you're going to have to spend to get yourself onto a motorbike. So in the UK, first thing you legally have to do is sit a CPT, which is compulsory basic training, not bike training, which I thought it was until I just Googled it. So compulsory basic training gets you out on a motorcycle with L plates. It's a 125, unless you're 16 then you're restricted to a 50cc. But for most of us it was a 125cc bike. With instruction, you're given a really kind of good comprehensive rundown of operating a motorcycle, going through the gears, all that kind of thing. And then you go out on the road and you have a little whiz around and it's really good fun. I really enjoyed it, and at that point you're either going to get hooked and get the bug for riding, or you might decide it's not for you and you walk away. But for me, I was hooked. I was absolutely buzzing when I finished. So at that point you could ride on the roads on a 125 with an L plate on the back and front, and you know more than quick enough in town for a lot of people. But for me, I wanted to be up onto the bigger bikes fairly quickly. So to get onto the bigger bikes, you're going to have to sit a theory test, a module 1 practical test, and a module 2 practical test. And once you've done those three, pass all those, you'll then be a fully licensed, and depending on your age, there is some restrictions. If you're slightly younger, then you'll be restricted to certain power output of bike. But unfortunately, I'm in my mid-30s, so I was once I've passed, I was able to go straight onto any bike I could. Any bike I can afford, which wasn't a big bike to be honest. Right, so you've done your CBT, which costs you £90. Next thing to do is your theory test. Theory test in the UK, let me check my notes. Theory test is £23, and again, it's much like taking your car theory test centre, multiple choice questions. I recommend an app, which I can't remember the name of. It was really good. I will put a link on. There's a few things in there that I didn't know that the app taught me, and actually a couple of them did come up in my test, so I was really grateful that I got the app and done a bit of revision. So you've done your theory test. So yeah, 23 quid for your theory test, and then you need to do your 2 practical tests. So the module 1 is £15, takes about 20 minutes, and it is essentially demonstrating some slow manoeuvres. It's not on the road. It's in essentially a fenced off area. So there's some manoeuvres between cones, showing that you can do emergency stops, swerves, a couple of high speed sort of things. There's plenty of videos online about what's involved in the mod 1. But the mod 1 is £15, and then the mod 2 is more like your car practical test really. It's on the road, demonstrating your roadcraft and your control of the bike. And that is, that's closer to an hour, I think 45 minutes. And the mod 2 costs £75. And once you've done that, you'll be a fully licensed rider. To get to the stage where I was able to sit my tests, I did a direct access course, which was 2-hour sessions out on a bike under instruction, and it's training you up to pass those tests. So the first half of my direct access was training for the Mod 1. Once I passed that, it was out on the road and getting me ready for the Mod 2. Again, the DAS, the direct access, absolutely loved it. It was really good fun. Learned absolutely loads. I wouldn't have been able to pass my tests but had I not done the DAS course. It's not cheap. I think it was £60 for a two-hour session, though I did book mine in bulk, so let me just double check what I paid again. So for my direct access, there was a saving to buy in bulk. I took the recommended 16 hours, which I think was about right for what I needed. I felt confident probably after about 12 to 14 hours, but those extra 2 were just really helpful for just building the confidence and getting rid of the nerves. So I think 16 hours for me was bang on. I paid £432 for my direct access, and brilliant. So to get to the point where I had my license, CBT was £90, theory test 23, mod 1 £15, mod 2 £75, and then £432 on my lessons essentially. So all in all, getting my license cost me £635. So that's a kind of a good guide, and that's obviously assuming you pass everything first time. Right, so let's talk about some gear. Okay, cool, so you've passed your test, you're a fully licensed rider, you are going to need some gear to ride on your bike. So let me just bring my notes back up so I can check what I'm talking about. So first things first, and the actually only legal requirement in the UK is for one of these. Obviously a helmet, you want to protect your head when you're out and about. So this is a Shark D-Skwal. I paid £180 for this, which was a little bit more than I budgeted. I think I budgeted £150, but there were plenty of helmets at that £150 price bracket, which are more than adequate. But I tried this one on, and the comfort of this over the helmets that were within my budget, this was so much comfier. So for me, I've got my head in it all the time. I want it to be comfy, so that's what I went with. I also wanted, God, I'm out of breath, I just ran upstairs to get this. Woo! Right, I also wanted the drop down sun visor. A little flick of the switch on the side there, and you get the sun visor drop down internally. That's an absolute lifesaver for me, especially in Britain where you've got the slightly wet roads. You come around a corner and the sun's in your eyes and reflecting off the ground. Just to be able to flick that down dead quick, it's an absolute winner. So that was 180 quid, and again, this is actually the only thing you need to wear on a motorbike in the UK. I think if you stopped your safety gear at this, you'd be a freaking idiot, but that's entirely up to you. That's all you legally need to wear. So that's your helmet. Next thing is gloves. Obviously, if you come off your bike, first thing that's going down on the ground is your hands. So I initially bought these, which are kind of your budget, cheapo leather riding gloves. They're absolutely fine. They've worked, and I've had these for a few months now, and they're absolutely fine. The reason I've changed them is the comfort. After about 20 to 30 minutes, these just aren't very comfortable. The seams are on the inside of the fingers, start to rub, and you're starting to look forward to taking these off. So not ideal if you're doing any sort of long riding. So they were £40, and if you're just doing short commutes, they're absolutely fine. And I think, I may be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure these are the ones you can get in Aldi. Sometimes when they do their motorbike gear down their kind of special magic aisle down the centre of Aldi, these are the ones I think they get. If not, they're very similar. But I did buy these from a proper bike shop and kind of noticed that later on. So they were 40 quid, but I have upgraded now to something a lot comfier, which is twice the price. These were £80, and these are Alpine Stars SP8s, and these are, to me, worth more than double what I paid for those. They're so comfy, I could wear these all day, and they're an absolutely, like, one of the best things I've upgraded so far. They're a 3-season glove, so they're not a winter glove, it's now January outside, so it is cold, and these aren't warm enough. So what I've done is, instead of spending £100 on winter gloves, which I was only going to get a few weeks of wear out of a year, I have bought some cheap undergloves, which I haven't got here, but they're essentially like a little base layer. They're quite thin, quite tight, kind of stick to your hand quite well, and then they go under these, which is enough for my commute to work, which is a few miles, to keep my hands warm. Obviously not as comfy as proper winter riding gloves, but it was a good solution. It works well with those. So that's gloves, so they were 80 quid. Next thing you're going to want is a jacket, so excuse me 2 seconds. So I've gone for the Alpine Stars Gunner jacket, which I'll quickly stick it on so you can kind of get a look at. Put out of the way. So the Alpine Stars Gunner is a textile jacket. Again, this was partly down to budget, is why I chose this jacket. This was £180, so again, it's a lot of money. But when you go into a bike shop, £180 for a jacket is not a lot of money. They're expensive. So this was within budget. I like the styling of it. It's a brand I'd heard of, so that was encouraging for me as a kind of a new rider. But yeah, I really like it. For me, it's got long sleeves, which is important because I've got quite long arms. You don't want them riding up too much. It's got a nice thermal liner which you can take out. This is really cool. It's a waterproof pocket. So phone in there, then you know it's going to stay waterproof. Reason I like for textile is again for the kind of the waterproofness. In the UK, rains a lot. But yeah, really good jacket. So that's 180 quid. Only thing I added to this, so this has got the shoulders and elbow protection, but it hasn't got any back protection. So I did add. Let me check what it's called because I can't remember. The Alpine Stars Nucleon KR2i back protector. So that's 40 quid. It's back protector, just slots straight into the pocket on the back of this jacket. So actually, if you add that in, this jacket cost me £220. But again, I thought safety first. So jacket. Only other things you're going to need would be trousers. I mean, you could just ride in a decent pair of jeans, which is actually all that they advise us to do on the CBT. But I do have some sort of trousers that go over my jeans. They've got some elbow, some knee and hip protection, and again and a thermal liner as well. They're really basic. I think I paid 50 quid. They're like the most budget bike trouser you can get. They're more than adequate. They're fine. I think this year I'm going to upgrade and get some nice riding jeans, something with the kind of the Kevlar inside to help. But yeah, trousers about 50 quid. And then finally is your feet, riding boots. I actually don't have any riding boots yet. I wear some decent hiking boots to ride in, which is again what I was recommended from my lessons in CBT. They said if you can't afford the boots, which if you want proper riding boots, you're looking minimum sort of 150 quid. But some decent lace up walking boots which go up past the ankle, so you've got some ankle support, is I was recommended that was good enough for sort of for beginners. Currently I'm still doing that. I will buy some riding boots at some point probably this year, but yeah, some decent lace up hiking boots. I mean, I don't know, 50 quid you could probably get some good hiking boots for, but yeah, if you want the proper riding boots, then you're talking a lot more money. But what I spent on gear, if you add the helmet, gloves, jacket, trousers, I spent £535 getting suited and booted, as it were. Alright, so finally, you have passed your test, you're all geared up, you're going to need a bike. For the bike, so it was the end of the summer, kind of coming into autumn when I passed my test, so I wanted to get a bike that I could ride through the winter, and in the back of my mind I was kind of thinking I might drop this. I might, hopefully not high speed crash, but this might get laid down, I might hit some ice, something. I was aware that I didn't want to get something I was going to be really precious of while I was still learning my roadcraft and kind of being out by myself on a bike. So I set myself a budget of £1,000 to get what I wanted was something around 600cc, and I ended up getting for £1,000 a Suzuki SV650. It's either a 1999 or a 2000 model. So it's quite old, but it's great. I love it. It rides really well, plenty of go. Really good fun, really easy bike to ride and manage, but it's still got that, you still get a good laugh out of it. I bought mine from a dealer. They wanted 1,200 quid. I got them down to £1,000, which was my budget. And it was a bit of a pig when I bought it. paintwork was terrible, headlight was cracked, just lots of things that were kind of mechanically sound but looked awful. So I spent a bit of time just taking it apart, spraying bits up, changing the odd bit here and there just to kind of learn my way around the bike. But yeah, my bike cost me £1,000. I then obviously had to get some insurance, so I did a quick comparison website. Principal insurance came up the cheapest for me, and I paid £235 for third-party fire and theft. Didn't think it was worth going with the fully comp for a bike of that age and value. So £235 for insurance, and then road tax in the UK for a Suzuki SV650 was 85 quid. So all in all then, my bike, kind of on the road price if you like, was £1,325. That obviously doesn't include any kind of modification-y things I've done to the bike, but initially to get me out there was 1,325. So all in all then, lessons, gear and the bike cost me £2,495, so £2,500. It's a lot of money, certainly a lot of money to me, but oh man, it's so worth it. It's the best thing I've done. I absolutely love it. It's one of the best things I've done in my time. So I would recommend it to anyone, especially if you're like me, have always wanted to do it and never done it. I didn't want the regret of not doing it. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's something nice away from work and kind of your day-to-day stuff to have that release. So I would do it. That'd be my advice, is absolutely do it. So I hope this video's been useful, I guess. And I haven't come across too awkward. I feel very awkward, so it probably does look quite awkward. This is my first video. Hopefully I'll get better at it. There is more stuff to come. The SV650 has been tremendous, but it will be going this year. I'm going to upgrade, hopefully towards the start of the summer, sort of springtime. There will be some more videos to come where I'll be going out for some test rides and try and do some vlogging. I was actually going to vlog today, but it's hoying it down with rain. It's the middle of January. I thought in the warm with a coffee was probably a nicer option. But yeah, plenty more to come, so hopefully see you all again soon. Alright, cheers guys.